Bade Banderanwa, and I want to talk about today spell work or alchemy work, hoodoo, however you want to label it, and what I don't see being discussed, or what I don't see it being explained when it comes to when you go to a practitioner, whether it's a hoodoo practitioner, Voodoo, Santeria, whatever practice that you go to in order to get working done. And I've only heard one person explain it in this way or talk about it in this way. But then again, she is more mature, and she has a level of excellence and approach to the practice that is really missing nowadays. Nowadays, it's more commercialized. It's more about the aesthetics. Um, it's more about what it looks like on social media, taking the pictures and all of that. So she's like the only person so far in my proximity, in my frequency, that really explains the what I'm about to explain when it comes to doing healing work or any type of alchemy work, energy work, candle working, spell work, manifestation work. She's the only one that I've encountered so far that explains it in this way. So let's just do money, because money is the biggest thing that people go to workers for. Spiritual workers for, spiritual healers for is money and relationships. So we'll talk about money. What you people don't realize is that really what you're doing is you're casting a spell on yourself. So you're coming to a practitioner or a healer for money, and you want to make a certain amount of money, or you want a new job, or whatever the case may be. The point is you want to increase in money. Well, really what's going on is you're casting a spell on yourself, because as within, so without. It's really not about the fact that your boss, you went to the practitioner, they did the working for you, and within a week or 24 hours, your boss comes to you and says that, oh, we're going to give you the raise that you went to the practitioner to do the spell for. It has nothing to do with the fact that the ball that when the candle was lit and the prayers were said and the chants were said, the mantras were said, the incantations were said, the petition was wrote. It had no influence on the boss. It had no influence on the boss whatsoever. What it was that you had already, whether you realized it or not, consciously or subconsciously, you already put into motion for you to get the raise. Because one, you had a resource or an avenue of money by working. Two, you were doing what was necessary in order to get that raise. So when you went to the practitioner, and even if you were doing, what was necessary to get that raise or promotion, and you kept getting passed up, and you went to the practitioner to do a working so that you would stop being passed up, it wasn't the fact so you would stop getting passed up so you could get that raise and promotion that you truly deserve. It wasn't the fact that the candle and the working did that. It was the fact that you changed your level of consciousness. You saw yourself getting the raise, and the candle working was just, as Bashar would say, a permission slip. It was just something you needed in the physical to help you get to that state. No, to help you manifest, or to help that thing actually become a reality in the 3D. You are already there. You are already operating as that person who had the raise. You already had a level of consciousness. So, a lot of times, healers and practitioners don't tell you that part. That really, spell work is just casting a spell on yourself. So when you go to the healer and the practitioner, it's changing you. Nothing on the outside changes until it changes on the inside. As above, so below. Nothing changes. Nothing changes in the physical world until it already changes in the spiritual world. So you going to someone to do a candle working or whatever kind of spell work that they do, it's not necessarily the spell work. It's not necessarily that. The person already has a level of consciousness. They've already started making changes mentally and seeing themselves in a different way. So that's why they see the physical manifestation. But you'll think that it's the candle working. The candle working is just to give you an anchor, to give you a point of reference. You've already started doing the work internally. So when you see like somebody goes to a practitioner and they pay, let's say maybe $200-300, and that's on the low end, $200-300, maybe even $400-500, maybe even up to $1,000, depending on what the practitioner charges, depending on what type of working that they, the intricacy of the working that they're doing. So you pay this amount of money and you get awarded a $100,000 contract. And so you post a review and say, yeah, I went to say a practitioner. I did their money working and I landed a $100,000 contract. That person already had the consciousness of $100,000. They already had started doing the work to be on that frequency. More than likely, they already are involved in a business, or they're a part of a company that already operates on that level. You're not talking about somebody who's making minimum wage and going to a practitioner for money work, and then all of a sudden they get a $100,000 contract, because it's a level of consciousness that you're dealing with. All spell work is just alchemy that changes you. It changes you, your thinking, your level of consciousness, your level of awareness. So if you were making minimum wage and you went to somebody to do a money ritual or money spell or money working, and then all of a sudden you go from minimum wage part-time to now you have a full-time job with benefits, that's your level of consciousness. That's your level of consciousness. You were ready to receive that. And that working just unlocked that version of you faster. So don't be misled to think that, oh, if I go to this practitioner and I ask for money working and I'm making minimum wage, I'm all of a sudden going to be making $100,000 a year. Well, do you even have the education, the experience to even put yourself in proximity to make $100,000 a year? Do you even know how to handle $100,000 a year? Are you financially literate to handle $100,000 a year? So that's what these practitioners are telling you about spell work or manifestation. They're not telling you that you're going to get the results based on your level of consciousness. That is so when you go, so your level of consciousness is dependent on the results you're going to get when you go to, no, I'm not AI, I'm a real person. So your level of consciousness is going to depend on the results that you get when you go to someone doing spell work. And that's what I want people to know about, candle working, all of that stuff. Like, doing rituals and magic and all of that stuff. It is dependent on your level of consciousness. That's why results vary. And if you're going to someone who does this, does manifestation work or magic, that's what they do. It should be a disclaimer. It should be in fine print letting you know that the results vary based on your level of consciousness. And so when you see on social media people posting reviews about their work, about how they got, the clients will give success stories about, oh, I had this particular practitioner or healer do this work for me and this happened. But what they don't tell you, what they don't share with you is where that person's level of consciousness was at the time that they requested the particular working. So you just get the sound bite. You just get the 60-second sound bite, the clip of, oh, how amazing this practitioner is and how, and the amazing results that this person got. And I'm not negating that. But you're not seeing that the person who requested the work, what they did behind the scenes to add to it. You're not getting all of that. So what happens is then all of a sudden people that are following this practitioner or healer, they see that, oh, they read this amazing review and then they start booking appointments. And so of course it boosts the sales of the practitioner. They're getting more money, they're getting more work, they're getting more clients. And then when you don't get the results that you saw posted on social media, you wonder why. Because they're not telling you that person had a certain level of consciousness. They were already either intentionally or unintentionally, consciously or unconsciously doing the work. They were already working on being on that frequency. And all the working did was just speed it up. That's all it did. So I want more practitioners to tell people you got to do the work. Yes, I can do this petition for you, But it has to be some steps you have to do. First of all, don't come to me for a money working and you don't even have a job. You don't even have a way for money to even flow to you. So why are you coming to me for money working? Or are you coming to me for money working and you blow your money on cigarettes and weed and alcohol and playing the lottery, um, on clothes? You're just a poor manager and steward of your money, but you want to come to me for money working. You want to come to me for money working, but you don't want to get out and get a job. Or you want to come to me for money working, but your house is a mess. You want to come to me for money working, but you spend all your money on a guy or a girl who doesn't care anything about you. So, first, when I do the money working for you, it's going to address all of those issues first. So, I tell people, okay, you're coming to me for money working, but before the money even comes, guess what's going to happen? It's going to have to clear out all of the things that are blocking your money flow. It could be that boy, it could be that girl that you're dealing with. It could be the fact that you're at a job that you hate and you know you hate the job, but you don't want to leave because you need quote unquote the money. So when you're asking someone to do a money working for you, be prepared for your life to quote unquote change for the worse. Because the money working has to, first of all, change your level of awareness about money, how you handle money, what you think about money. It has to change your negative viewpoints about money. Hey, everybody. It has to do all of that first. And that's what a lot of these practitioners are not telling you. That all of that has to change before you start physically seeing the money come to you. And other people who may be getting immediate results probably don't have the level of resistance that you have toward money. And that's why they're able to go to the practitioner to do the candle spell. And within 24 hours or 2 weeks, $5,000 comes to them. So that's the part that that's the behind the scenes that you need to know about magic or manifestation or candle working or whatever, tool that the person uses to help you manifest things or bring things to your life. That a lot of things got to go on before you actually see the manifestation. And a lot of those things deal with you. They're about you. That's why I say that really when you're casting spells, you're casting a spell on yourself. Because something in you has to change first before you see what you want in the 3D. And we as practitioners need to be real with you about how this works instead of just giving you a 60-second soundbite about and giving you a 5-star review or screenshotting a 5-star review and a testimony about the amazing results that a particular client got. But we're not telling you all the work the client did to get those results, how they already was set up for success, so to speak, before they even came to us. It's no way I'm going to do money magic on somebody who, like I said, is making minimum wage and they're going to be a millionaire overnight. It doesn't work that way. That's not how spirit works. That's not how a practitioner of the light works. Now, you have those who work mainly with dark energies, and yes, you'll get that, but you'll pay for it. You are now in contract with um a lower level entity, and you got to feed that lower level entity forever in order to keep that level of wealth that you've now acquired overnight. But I'm not going to get into that. That's a whole different video that I probably already have done. So I just wanted to share that with you. Don't get, your situation, you'll be in a desperate situation, and don't get duped into seeing a practitioner post, like I said, a 5-star review and amazing reviews about their work, but they're not telling you the backstory. They're not telling you what goes on behind the scenes. They're not telling you that that person had to do a lot of inner work to get the results that they got. It's not what you think it is. It's not. You are literally casting a spell on yourself, which means that before you see the manifestation, things have to change within you. That's why it's called alchemy, because you're changing you on an energetic level. Alchemy just means change. It just means transmutation. It just means transformation. That's all it means. And a lot of times our desperation, we're in situations where we just need money. We need money. We need money. And we see people getting all these amazing results, and we will go and get pay for the working to be done. And then we wonder why we're not getting the same results, because it's deeper than that. You got a whole lot of stuff inside of you that you got to clean out. So you're really casting the spell on yourself so you can change. Because nothing on the outside is going to change until you change on the inside. And that is how a lot of practitioners are misleading. They're misleading in that way. They don't tell you that part. Oh, sure, yeah, I'll do this spell. I'll do this spell for you, sure. And then you wonder why after the spell is done, your relationship ends. And you lie and all hell appears to break loose. But that's the spell doing its job. You want the money, right? Well, first of all, before this money comes to you, I need to move some things out the way. Spirit is saying, I need to move some things out the way before I give you this money. Because if I give you this money in your current state, you're just gonna waste it. You're gonna waste it. You're gonna squander it. So what good is it? What good is it? It's not about what you cop, it's about what you keep. So what good is it? I give you the money that you want, and then you lose it within 24 hours. And then you're going back asking to get the spell done again. No. The results should be permanent. When you should just be going higher and higher and higher. You shouldn't be going to get spell working done. You get it done, and then you're in a worse situation than what you were before you went to get the working done in the first place. That means that nothing in you changed enough for you to sustain what it is you asked for. That's what these practitioners need to be telling you. That's why I am very, very selective and very, very leery about doing work for people. That's why I always do a divination, because you could be coming to me saying, oh, I need money work. I need money, money, money. And if I don't consult spirit first and just go based on your word, Okay, yeah, you'll get the money, but then you're broke 24 hours later because it wasn't the money that you needed. You needed to get rid of that that bum that you're with because you got the money and you spent all the money on him or her. So that's why I do divination first because it's not about the money. You probably get money hand over fist, but you're giving it to the wrong people. So the spell really needs to be to get rid of the freeloaders in your life. That's the kind of spell we need for you, not a money working. But practitioners don't tell you that. Some of them are dishonest. And I say all the time that this comes with ethics. What we do, there is ethics involved. There is ethics. There is a code of ethics. Just like when you get a job, there's an employee handbook. It is the same with the type of work that we do. It is an employee handbook. It is a code of ethics that we are supposed to adhere to. But some people get so caught up in the social media status, the followers, the monetization of their channel, the clients, the aesthetics, that they don't follow a code of ethics. And yeah, they'll do the working for you, knowing good and dang on well that that's not the type of working you need. But I'm not going to tell you that. I'm just going to take your money. And hey, everybody that is on, that has joined. So it is my responsibility to change the conversation, the dialogue around what healers and practitioners do, the magic, the manifestation, the spell work. It's to change that conversation. It's to change the perception. It is not what you see in the media. It's not what you see on social media. It's not what you see in movies. It's not that at all. This comes with a code of ethics. And we really should not just be out here just offering up services. No. Because a lot of times you don't need a candle spell or some type of manifestation work. You just need to go to therapy. You need to go sit and talk to a counselor. There's some mental health that needs to be resolved and some trauma that needs to be worked out. You don't need to be talking to a tarot card reader, um, a mambo, a healer, a sangoma. No, you just need to, first of all, let's just start with some counseling. Let's do that first. And we as practitioners, more of us need to have these conversations and let you know what it is, instead of just wanting clients and taking your money. Because now you're starting to be manipulative and you're starting to be a charlatan. So that's it. That's all. I just want to bring that to your awareness that results will vary and that you are casting a spell on yourself. You're asking yourself to change first before you get what you want in the physical world. You're casting a spell on yourself. Every every single working that I've done, like say for instance, something simple. I, wanted just to shut somebody up. I wanted, they just shut them up. They always talking about me, just shut them up. Well, guess what? Spirit will reveal in my life where I've been gossiping about somebody. I've been talking about somebody. Or where I've entertained gossip. I've allowed people to gossip about other people to me. So when I'm doing the spell to shut someone up, I'm doing that same spell on me to shut me up. Stop gossiping about people. Stop talking about people, or stop allowing people to gossip to me about other people. Or stop watching movies or listening to music that encourage gossiping and tearing people down. And guess what? The minute I changed that about myself, the person stopped talking about me. That's how this really works. That's how this spell, these rituals really work. It's going to put a spotlight on you. And then you're going to be like, "Oh, I'm doing the very same thing that I'm doing a spell for." So when you stop, they'll stop. Because so within, so without. What's going on in the inside is being reflected. What's going on outside of you is just a reflection of what's going on inside of you. So sometimes you not having any money is just the result of, because who are you hanging with? What is coming out your mouth? If you're always talking about how you broke, well, you're going to always be broke. You don't need somebody to do a spell for money, when all you got to do is just change your words. You don't need a spell for that. Like, make it make sense, people. And I'm here to help you make it make sense. You are the first, when you go to a healer, a practitioner, you're really casting a spell on yourself. You will change first. You will change first before the outside changes. And your results are based on your level of awareness, your level of consciousness. So a minimum wage person is not going to get the same results as a person who is already making $50,000, $60,000, $70,000 a year, because those are two different states of consciousness. And when I say consciousness, it means it's just two different states of how you relate to money, how you see money, how you value yourself when it comes to money, how you think about money. So a person who's making minimum wage, that reflects how they think about money. A person making $50,000, $60,000 a year, it shows how they think about money. So the results will vary. So thank you so much for everybody that came on the live, said hello, liked, shared, commented. Thank you so much. And I know you learned something. You learned something new. And it will make you think twice before you decide to go and contact someone to do a money spell for you or to do a love working for you. Because your results are only going to be equivalent to your current state of how you think. However you're thinking at the time, and you decide you're going to go pay somebody to do a love spell or a money spell, your results are going to be equivalent to where you are at that time in your life. You cannot expect more than that. You're going to get exactly where you are. The results are going to match where you are at that current time in your life. And if you do get more than that and you're not able to sustain it, it just proves my point that that's not really where you were at. Because if that's where you really were, you will be able to sustain it. So thank you so much. Until next time, stay blessed, stay aware, and stay grateful.